Now I'm a little disappointed in riding this motorcycle for the last couple of days. What you see here is the brand new KTM 2023 in the brand new avatar here with the spoked wheel and the fully adjustable suspension. The reason I'm disappointed is because I really don't know where this bike belongs right now, because it's so neutral that you could ride it on road, you can ride it off-road, you can do some enduro stuff, and that's pretty much the package KTM has given you. And that's why I'm a little confused again. Where do I enjoy this motorcycle? So let's get into the video and see what this motorcycle is about. My name is Ajit, this is Bikenbiker, and this is our first ride experience of the brand new KTM 390 2023 model, the spoked wheel. So if you look at the 390 Adventure now in this new avatar, I think this is the motorcycle that we all wanted when KTM launched this motorcycle 3 years ago, but we all still went ahead and bought the standard variant, which I still own till date, which is pretty much in line with the specifications of this motorcycle. We'll get to that in a bit. But yeah, talking about the two new equipment that's on this motorcycle, you're looking at fully adjustable suspension in the front and at the rear. What's really surprising is because I was not very keen on trying out this particular motorcycle, but having read reviews and having spoken to a lot of people and seeing online reviews, I think the front suspension is it's just a piece of art. I'll tell you why. Say you're riding on the road, a few clicks down, making it a little hard, you can really take those corners really fast, because this behaves from an adventure motorcycle to maybe a street motorcycle or maybe even a super sport, because you have those sticky Metzeler 2-runs rubber. They ensure that they stick to the road and the suspension is nice and planted, allowing you to carve those corners beautifully. Now you've just hit the road and you've finished your love for corners and you're just looking at those beautiful trails, right? But you can't run with that same setup. That is where the front and the rear suspension comes into play, and boy oh boy, what a massive difference it makes, and the kind of confidence the bike gives you, it really grows on you that well, and you can adapt to the bike that easily. So let's talk about it a little technically. So when you're looking at 30 clicks of rebound and compression, I mean, that's quite a lot. And what I've also noticed is every single click is very responsive, and you can really get a very good feedback, and the suspension is superb and progressive. Now, what do I mean by that? Say if you're doing a lot of off-road and enduro, you're doing a little bit of jumps and stuff on the standard bike, which is the older bike, well, you would end up bottoming out the suspension, hitting the bash plate, maybe even the bike throwing you off, right? But that's not the case with this motorcycle. Running it about 20-22 clicks on the softer side, I think for my weight, I've really enjoyed this motorcycle. Playing in the playground here, it's been a fantastic bike. Well, to adjust your suspension again, you really don't need any fancy tools. These work with your hands itself. You could just play around with your fingers. And for the rear, you have the company gives you a small screwdriver. You can work around with the soft and the hard setting. While for the preload, you will have to use the OEM tool that's given along with the motorcycle. But yeah, man, I think compared to the standard bike, this has really transformed the bike, and because of this suspension setup, the bike actually feels a lot more faster, because the bike is that much more planted and you really get into the motorcycle and send it. Now, like we spoke about this setup transforming the motorcycle and your riding experience completely. I mean, I've been riding the standard variant, and this has actually grown on me so much in the last couple of days. I've just enjoyed it. Getting back into the topic, talking about the most awaited spoked wheel setup. Well, this has also transformed the motorcycle, because you can really get into ruts, get into bad potholes, do those jumps. They really take a lot of beating, and KTM has not used any ordinary or cheap spoked wheels here. You're looking at XL rims. These are some of the guys in the world. They make some of the best rims that you can find, because you're looking at motocross bikes, you're looking at some of the bigger Dakar bikes. These are the same rims that's on this motorcycle. Although you don't see the branding on the rim, you do see the branding on the inside lip of the rim itself. But the overall package of the spoked wheel, the suspension, I think it's transformed the vehicle fantastically. And they also say that the spoked wheel is a lot lighter when you compare it to the alloy. I'm not really sure about that because we haven't tested that yet. But Yeah, talking about the flexibility, yes, you do feel the rigidness of the complete spoked wheel setup, also giving you that nice flex when you're doing those jumps, when you're doing those bad roads. Now, while KTM has given you this complete adventure package with a fully adjustable suspension and stuff, I still feel, I mean, I'm just asking, being a little more greedy, because while you have so much of room to play around with the suspension, I feel they should have given the bike a slight lift, about maybe an inch, because that's what I've got on my motorcycle, and it works really, really well, because you're going on really bad terrain, you want to do those jumps. This works well, because I've barely hit the bash plate in places that this bike would actually, you know, seesaw itself. So I think in that department, KTM could have given a slightly taller suspension setup. But yeah, leaving that aside, what could have been better is also the low-end torque, which is still not fixed. While they have fixed the stalling issue of by just replacing the clutch switch, which was kind of not working well in the older motorcycles. Even on mine currently, you still have that clutch switch issue. But yeah, you folks can reach out to KTM and they will swap it out with the new one, and that fixes the problem. So in short, basically, the older clutch switch does not generate enough power to keep the bike running when you engage it completely, which is why it starts misfiring and the bike turns off. But that's not the case with the new bike. That's completely sorted out. Now you guys might be wondering, for the people who have not seen my motorcycle, which I call Alaska, she's already got the spoked wheel setup, but this was the very first variant that KTM had launched. But what we've done here is, this is a Scram 411 rim with the impulse spokes, and we've custom made the hubs from scratch. So that is something that we worked on my motorcycle, and a few months later is when this guy was launched. But again, if you're looking at swapping the the current spoked wheel setup from the new bike to the standard variant, yes, they will be available as spares very soon. We're not really sure of the pricing, but I've been told that it can cost you about 85 to 90k for the spoked wheel setup and the suspension itself. So keeping that aside, there are a few things that KTM should have actually done to this motorcycle to make it a lot better, because the low-end torque is still not there. All they could have done is worked on the tuning a little bit, make it a lot more usable in the trails. Because what I've done to my motorcycle to fix that, well, it's not a complete fix, but what you could probably do is pick up the fuel X. It smoothens out all the flat spots, and you get good linear power throughout the rev range, which means your bike will not stall when you're in tough and tricky situations. Apart from that, I've also combined Alaska with the BMC stock replacement air filter, and to top it all of that and sandwich the motorcycle together, to extract the maximum performance out of it, the Motrix engine oil, boy, that's made a world of a difference. And I just can't stress enough to talk how good that oil is. We'll talk about it maybe in another video. Now, getting back to this motorcycle here, the 2023 motorbike, again, there are a few more other things KTM should have worked on. The quality of plastics, because the quality of plastics, what you see here, the ones below the indicator, the headlight masks, they crack when you, they crack and break when you tend to ride the bike a little too hard, and they're not the very best, and it starts giving you all the vibrations, and it's quite annoying. So yes, to sum it up, I think for the price you pay, this is a lot of motorcycle when you compare it to the 310 GS, the upcoming new Himalayan 450. I think this is a slightly better motorcycle, I would say, because the 310 GS really did have amazing suspension setup. It was really plush, really comfortable, but that is history. This is what you get with the new 390 with the fully adjustable suspension, and it works like a charm. While we were coming down to this location, unfortunately we had a puncture, but no big deal. Since this is a tube tire, you will have to limp yourself to the nearest puncture shop or fix it yourself. Since we did not have the tools, we had to get into to the nearest puncture shop, and that's when we opened the tube to see that the tube was also by Medzilla, which was quite surprising. But what took me by surprise was the quality of the Medzilla tube. It's really thin, and that can actually puncture really easily if you don't maintain proper PSI. And say you're riding in places like this, even a small thorn, I mean, it was just a small screw that punctured the tire, so you might want to look at upgrading to better quality tubes out there in the market. Yeah, that was our first ride experience of the brand new KTM 390 Adventure. Just can't wait to see what the next model would be. We are told that 400 is maybe in the books, and at about 50 bhp, I think that should be a lot of fun. But let's see, that might be in a year or two. So that's said and done. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. We have a lot of accessories that can help you protect your motorcycle and help you clock those miles on the highway. So do check out our website, www.bikenbiker.com. Don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. My name is Ajit. I'll see you guys in the next one.